there is a broad international understanding of the situation going on now in Libya. So I think if that doesn't step down soon, certainly the international community will step up its pressure on him, and certainly one of the measures to be taken is to impose a no-fly zone on Libya, so that Gaddafi will be prevented from using its air power to shoot on the people.
Okay, well, Mr. Dabashi, Robert Gates, the U.S. Secretary of Defense, said very recently and very clearly that it would take an initial bombing campaign against Libya to bomb the air bases before a no-fly zone is implemented. Russia and China have said that they are unlikely to support a no-fly zone, the imposition of a no-fly zone in the country. It would need a United Nations Security Council resolution, which it would need Russia and China's support. So it seems extremely unlikely that you're going to get that international consensus. So again, I ask you, have you been told something that we don't know? Has somebody given you a promise that we haven't been made aware of?
No, I don't agree that to impose a no-fly zone that it is to destroy. Certainly maybe to destroy a limited air defense, but if this will be the pretext to destroy many places in Libya, certainly no one will accept it, especially if civilian victims will fall. But I think even with the threat that any plane, if it flies over in the space of Libya, will be shot down, this might be enough to impose a no-fly zone. I don't think that it is necessary to destroy all air defense before imposing this, because I think a threat sometimes is enough, and also with the capability of stations in the Mediterranean, certainly they can shoot down any plane which fly on the space of Libya, especially if this is a helicopter or something like that. So,
Amru Musa, I'm sorry, sir, Mr. Dabashi. Amru Musa from the Arab League has suggested that the Arab League and the African Union could impose their own no-fly zone over Libya without getting the involvement of the United Nations, without getting the involvement of the United States or NATO. Isn't that a far better option?
I think maybe the Arab League, they have the capability to do it. I am not sure about that. But anyway, I don't think the African Union has any capability at all to impose a no-fly zone over Libya. But anyway, maybe it is a moral. The Arab state needs the moral support of the African Union, so that anyway, any kind of coordination to impose this, if the capabilities are there, it is welcome.
The Deputy Ambassador to the United Nations, Ibrahim Dabashi, thank you very much for joining us. Now, 2 U.S. servicemen have been shot dead as their military coach arrived at Germany's Frankfurt airport. German authorities have arrested a 21-year-old Kosovan. 2 other Air Force personnel were injured. Nick Spicer reports.
The attack took place inside a bus after a lone gunman got inside a vehicle carrying U.S. military personnel. He shot at several passengers just as it pulled into the terminal. 1 soldier and the bus driver were killed.
I would like to express how upset I am. The German government will do everything to find out what happened. I would like to express my condolences to the American soldiers and their families and relatives. It's a terrible tragedy.
Police have arrested a suspect. In a surprise appearance in the White House briefing room, the U.S. President Barack Obama was quick to respond, saying he's saddened and outraged by the attack.
We will spare no effort in learning how this outrageous act took place and in working with German authorities to ensure that all of the perpetrators are brought to justice.
The regional interior minister said the man being blamed for the attack was from Kosovo, but wouldn't specify if he was a soldier or what the motivation could be.
We're
investigating all possibilities. Whether there is a terrorist background, a jihadist background or an Islamic background, I cannot say at all right now. Our investigations will reveal that, as well as what the perpetrator's motives were.
It's quiet now, but this is one of the busiest airports in the world. Thousands of people go through here every day, and many of them are American service personnel. That's because there are major American military bases nearby, providing medical and logistical support for the conflicts in Iraq and Afghanistan. Nick Spicer, Al Jazeera, Frankfurt.
More than 25,000 Turkish Cypriots took to the streets in northern Cyprus on Wednesday and marched against austerity measures backed by Ankara. The protest is one of the largest demonstrations ever held in northern Cyprus and could hinder reunification talks with Greek Cypriots. Oliver Varney reports.
Tens of thousands of Turkish Cypriots gather in Nicosia's Inonu Square in Cyprus's Turkish north, protesting against austerity measures they say have been forced on them by Ankara.
We have this problem with Ankara. They don't accept Turkish Cypriots. Demand of equality, and they act as if the mother of Turkish Cypriots, as a dominating power. So we want to let Ankara know that Turkish Cypriots are not children anymore.
We need a solution as soon as possible here in Cyprus. If we don't have a solution here, that means Turkish Cypriots will be dissolved. Slowly will be finished here.
They're angry at austerity measures that could see public spending slashed, state enterprises sold off, and the rights of trade unions curbed.
There's also a tremendous fear that they're going to be squeezed in between the economic power of Greek Cypriots and the economic power of Turkey.
Turkey has bankrolled northern Cyprus since 1974, this year contributing $860 million, about a quarter of the North's budget. The Turkish Cypriot finance minister refuses to blame Ankara, saying cuts should have been implemented years ago.
Since our government's level of taxation income is limited, and since we cannot borrow further because we have reached the top there, obviously then you have to take some measures, and those measures are austerity measures. I don't think it's fair to say that Turkey has pressed on these measures.
There's concern the demonstrations could threaten the UN-sponsored reunification talks between Greek and Turkish Cypriots, the next round of which is scheduled for Friday. Oliver Varney, Al Jazeera.
Let's get a roundup of some of the other stories making headlines now. Bradley Manning, a soldier accused of leaking thousands of classified US government documents, is facing more charges. The army has filed an additional 22 counts against him, including aiding the enemy. Manning has already been accused of 12 other charges in connection with the material which is published on the WikiLeaks website. Pakistan's Taliban says it killed the federal minister for minorities in Islamabad.